So tell me about the recent plumbing issues you guys had last week.
Last week and the week before, yeah, combined.
Okay.
So here at Choctaw, as you know, we are an old school. We're an old campus.
60s?
Yeah, mid-60s.
Okay.
And although there have been some small pockets of renovation, what has not been renovated is our sewage systems that are underground. So we've just gotten cleaned up in the last couple days.
No, what do you mean by cleaned up?
So cleaned up means we have had some sewage breaks and cloggage, and our sewage lines have literally come up through the toilets and through some of the vent areas in our clinic here. Sewage, water, and all those parts in the clinic, up through our hallway bathrooms down here.
So literally
into the hallway.
Floating sewage in the school for
It wasn't good.
few days, 4 to 5 days or
So,
whatever.
actually, it spread over the course of 2 weeks. We would go in pockets. We would have sewage throughout different pockets of the hallways. We would close down hallways, revamp kids around and staff members, both downstairs as well as upstairs. We brought in our district maintenance people, who then bring in outside contractors to help try to identify the problems, fix the problems, and we'd go through pockets of many days like that.
Yeah, because your pipes are underground, so you can only facilitate what you can see. There's no fixing the structural part of it. So it's just a Band-Aid. So unfortunately, it's probably going to happen again.
We were at the point where just last week we were down at one point to only 3 operating bathrooms of the entire school for everybody. Over 1,700 people in this building. So I feel like we were really close to just having to close down. It was that bad.
What other major issues do you have here? Now, granted, you've been here since April, right? Let me get that correct.
I came back to Choctaw in April.
Okay. So
principal.
you were here throughout last summer.
Yeah.
Okay. So imagine ACs are
old and inconsistent, so we go through stretches where parts of our 2-story building areas the AC breaks. It's really hot. Summer school is a juggle as well during the hot months. We got to figure out where to put kids. The problem is a couple things. We have old AC units and they're always breaking. That's the state of our union, the state of this building. Hot air goes up. Upstairs is not good. We relocate classes, we relocate teachers, because that's not a good learning environment. It's inconsistent. Sometimes we think it's the downstairs ones that will break down. Sometimes it's the upstairs ones. There's no telling. But AC is always an ongoing problem.
Yeah. It's old. I mean, as you can see, it's very, very dated. You can see your insulation pipes. I mean, you got stuff just breaking apart. You got, I don't want to say the M word too much, but you got fungus growing. You can smell the must. Like, it's just bad. I mean, you got open drain lines. You can tell all your footings on your pedestals on your equipment, it's all rusted. I mean, it's like I said, we were talking about if and when. It's just a matter of time. When this is going to just go away and come down. So, I mean, you can see corrosion around pipes. And it's the state of, like she said, state of union. It's just old. It's old and it needs to be redone. And basically for the air quality of the kids is what it's boiling down to. So speaking about old ACs, old plumbing, we got an old block building, and obviously we got a very old flat roof system. So I'm gonna take a wild guess that you get a lot of leaks all the time.
We do. You are here on a good day. The sun is shining, and so that means there doesn't seem to be any problems. But on a bad day, a rainy season, hurricane season, any of the like, sadly what happens down our hallways is lots of leaking on this first floor. And so we have tall trash cans, buckets everywhere. We close down hallways if we have to reroute kids. All of the tiling, roofing, you will in a very short period of time see stains. My crew does their very best to change out those so it doesn't look bad, right. But that's what it looks like.
That's your extent of what you guys can do. Mm-hmm. Can we talk about That part, like custodial maintenance, all that. Because I don't want to give people the wrong impression that you guys aren't doing what you're doing, but you are. So your custodial, your maintenance crews and your custodial crews are doing what they're allowed to do and can do within their scope.
Absolutely, and do
These
it the best
big
they can.
items are outside of.
Yeah, when you're talking about when you're talking about the structure of the building, the infrastructure, underground, roofing, ACs, the walls, things like that. That's beyond my custodial team, who is incredible.
Right.
My site-based manager. That's where capital needs or any of those kinds of funds need to be allocated towards, is to fix the actual building. So this isn't about the people that work in this building, and they're going above and beyond.
Yeah. We got to get the schools fixed.
We do.
I mean, I didn't grow up here, so this is my first time in this school. I grew up in a very small town with one school, and to be honest, this is bad. Like, this is really, really bad. When I went to school, I don't remember being like this.
We have to make our schools, Choctaw included, look like the high level of learning and performance and academics that every one of our schools has. We got to make it look that way, because great things are happening in all of our schools. We work and go to school in one of the top school districts in the entire state. And yet our facilities sadly look like what Choctaw looks like.
And I think with ACs, it's the air quality. I think some people get confused when you talk about, oh, well, your AC's working in the school is cool, but walking around here and seeing some of these vents and the dirt and the grime that come out, it's like that's what the kids are breathing, because that's the dirty air that's coming through the system. That's what's being pumped into the air. Even though you're cool in some parts if it's not summer, but it's the health concern.
What we had was a rainstorm, the seals leaked, it was not good, and so this was not while I was here principal, it was previous, but really just within the last 2 years. So it collapsed, and we're in the media center, so we're talking about student work, we're talking about our books, we're talking about kids use this every single day.
So you're talking about that thing right there
Yep.
fell off the ceiling.
Correct.
And nobody was here at that time. That's a blessing.
It is. You're absolutely right. All right, so we're in the cafeteria, and as you can see, this is a pretty big room. We use this as a multi-purpose room, not just for eating breakfast and lunch, but different student groups use this. And our walls are sheetrock, and as you can see, they're taking a beating between moving our tables. My custodial team cleans after lunches, so everything has to be moved out of the way. But this is not ideal at all because of they're getting beat up.
Yeah, like a wainscoting up a stainless barrier or something. I mean, you couldn't maintain this day in and day out, because you could send your custodial over here if you wanted to, and then tell them to patch it to make it look nice. But then the next day it's going to be the same hole.
And this isn't because something's wrong is happening. This is just a high use area.
High use area, and drywall is not the preferred material that you want in this area.
Everybody that's in this building, from our staff and our teachers to our students, take a lot of pride at Choctaw, as you would find in every school. This is a big green, and we take pride in what our classrooms look like, what the outside of our school looks like, how school spirit feels. This is where we live. This is where we spend all our time. So we do our very best to make sure it looks clean and things are operating. And frankly, I think we've become numb to the things that you are pointing out to me right now, that we don't, it's there.
It's your day to day.
Yeah,
Right.
It's just what it is.